Morning everyone. Now today I'm in Chawton, which is where Jane Austen spent her final years, and I've come to St Nicholas Church and graveyard. And buried in the graveyard is Jane Austen's mother and sister, and I'm going to pay a visit to their graves. Now this is St Nicholas's Church, and there's been a church here since 1270 AD. And just on the right hand side here is a statue of Jane Austen greeting visitors to Chawton Church, carrying a book, looking out to the entrance. And there's some writing on the other side. Let's have a look and see what it says. And it says, Jane Austen worshipped here 1809 to 1817, donated by Friends of Chawton Church, Hampshire County Council. Have a closer look at her face. Greeting people as you walk by. Now Jane Austen died in 1817, and she died in the arms of her sister Cassandra. And she's buried here with her mother, and we're going to try and find their graves in a minute. Just have a little look at the church. You can see some faces up the top there, either side of the window, and the tower. And it's Victorian style, this tower, because there was a fire in 1871 and everything was destroyed except the chancel and the area around the altar, and it was rebuilt in 1872-73. That was the entrance, and we'll try and go in there later. This sign says the grave of Jane Austen's mother and sister are at the rear of the churchyard adjacent to the sanctuary. Well, let's go and have a look. Now I believe there is the graves of the Knight family as well here, and this graveyard and the church were built for the Knight family, and one of Jane Austen's brothers, I think it was Edward, was adopted out to the Knight family, and I'm not quite sure where he's buried. I don't think he's buried here, but a lot of his family members are buried here, and we'll have a look in a minute. I think they're buried over there actually, in the distance. I don't know if you can see that, nice straight lines of headstones. But I think just over here are the graves of Jane Austen's mum and sister. That's the grave of Jane Austen's mum, and that's the grave of Jane Austen's sister. And her mum's headstone reads, Memory of Cassandra Austen, who died the 18th day of January 1827, aged 87 years. And her sister's headstone reads, Memory of Cassandra Elizabeth Austen, who died the 22nd day of March 1845, aged 72. So buried together, Jane Austen's mum and sister, her only sister, and her best friend, her sister was. And like I've just said, Jane Austen died in the arms of her sister, Cassandra. And there seems to be a sort of like a plaque on the side of the church there. I'll go over and have a look and see what it reads. See if it relates to Jane Austen or her mum and her sister. And I think it says John Baker, who was a rector here many years ago. I won't read it all out. If you want to read it, just pause the video and read it and then unpause. Some really nice windows here, and the tower again. Now we go over and have a look at the graves of the Knight family. There's some graves over by the wall there, but I won't go over and try and read any of them because I don't want to step on any graves. So over here, graves of the Knight family, and this graveyard was purposely built for the Knight family, and you can see how straight the lines of the headstones are. Very neatly done. There's quite a few here. See if we can read any of the headstones. Very difficult to read them. You can make bits out. I mean, if you want to pause the video and see if you can read some of these headstones, and by all means do. But I won't read them because they're a bit hard to read, and it will take a long time to work out the writing on them. But like I said, there's quite a few of the Knight family buried here. More graves in the distance. Go and check this row out. I wonder how many family members of the Knight family are buried here. Now, I've never been here before. It's my first time walking around this graveyard. I'm going to try and get in the church in a bit. There's some more graves behind. I'll have a look at them in a second. Looks like there's been some repair on that headstone. I suppose when headstones are old, I suppose you're going to get some that need repairing. So we'll have a look at some of the graves here. Behind. And again, you can just catch out some of the words on there. But like I said, if you want to read any of them, just pause the video. Mary Knight. This one looks a bit easier to read. Annie or Anne Coates, Nee Knight and John Coates. And there's another lynch gate. There's two entrances to this graveyard. That's one of them at the rear, and then the front one is the one that we came in. Some more headstones in the distance. And there's St Nicholas's Church again, with the tower. It's quite tall. We'll go over and have one more look at Jane Austen's mum and sister's graves. Now, Jane Austen had 6 brothers and 1 sister, and the one sister is buried here. Cassandra, never married, a bit like Jane Austen, never married. And in the distance you can see Chawton House. I don't know if you saw that. But we'll walk round and we'll see if we can get in the church. Fingers crossed. Because I've tried a lot of churches in the past and haven't been able to get in. But fingers crossed we shall get into this church. There's quite a few yew trees here. It's got to be over 10 yew trees here, which is quite impressive. And they're fairly big as well. But anyway, let's go on into the church. St Nicholas Church. Welcome to St Nicholas Church. And let's try the door. Fingers crossed, let's hope we can get in. And yes, we're in. We're in luck today. So it looks quite impressive in here actually. I'm quite impressed with this. Some books. And there's the font. Shame it's a bit dark in here. I'll stick a picture in the bottom corner so you can see that in the light a bit better. Lots of plaques around. Now that bench thing there on the left, I think they call that a pew, and I think that's the only original pew remaining, dating back to 1733, and it survived the 1871 fire as well. So possibly Jane Austen probably sat on that bench, on the pew. Some nice windows in here. I believe this is the children area. What's this section over here? Looks like a place where you can donate money. Put a donation in via a card. Bits of writing on the benches, and I believe that there is one that has got writing which mentions Jane Austen. I'll have a look for that in a minute. And down the end here is, I think, an impressive marble statue of Sir Richard Knight. And I think it's over there on the right hand side. We're going to have a look. So there he is, Sir Richard Knight. Don't know the history behind him. There's the plaque. It's hard to read in this light. The light in here is not the best, but you know, it is what it is. Bit dark, but quite impressive in here, I must admit. Let's have a look over here. Rectors of Chawton, Hampshire. Now I think Reverend Papillon was rector whilst Jane Austen lived here, and I think he's in the middle row on the bottom. John Rawston Papillon. So he would have been the rector here when Jane Austen worshipped here and lived here. And I believe Jane Austen wrote some letters and mentioned him in her letters as well. Photos. Some more plaques going around. And like I just said, there are some memorials to various people on these benches, and one of them is of Jane Austen. Let's see if we can find it. I think it's this one. Erected by the Jane Austen Society in memory of Jane Austen, 1775-1817, and of Dorothy Darnell, 1876-1953, founder of the Society. Wow, there you go. There you go. Very impressed with the church inside. And you can see the timber in the roof and at the end the writing with the cross. So I think we'll make our way out now. So I'll make sure I shut the door out of respect. So we're back outside again now. And here are some pictures of inside the church. And here are the graves of Jane Austen's mum and sister. You can see the writing a lot clearer now on them. I have to say it's quite a nice church inside. It's probably one of the better ones that I've actually seen. Quite impressed with it. Have one more last look around the graveyard. Jane Austen's mum and sister over there. Quite impressed with the church inside and out. At least it's well signposted here to find the graves of Jane Austen's mum and sister. A lot of graveyards and cemeteries that you go to, they're not very well signposted. But anyway guys, thank you for watching this video. And remember, if you like this video, hit the like button. And remember to subscribe to my channel. And check out my other videos as well. Thank you for watching. So from Chawton, I shall say take care. And I will see you next time in my next video.